And if I have a first period prep and you ask me to give it up, like I'm giving up a lot. The teaching profession is in need of educators who are not only taken care of, but are getting the support they need on a regular basis. But know that there's a teacher there who actually knows them more than just a name on a piece of paper. And hopefully they remember their name. Welcome to Diary of a Confused Educator. My name is Ashanti, and today we're going to talk about why teachers are not staying in the profession. Maybe why they're not even joining the profession, but why they're quitting in a career that could last for many, many years. And years ago, people retired from teaching. Now, 2, 3, 5 years is early departure for many teachers. The reason is how schools are designed and how the support systems for educators are. Now, I'm going to provide you some data, and I think the data will help to just kind of make sense of what kind of vacancies are out there in education. Now, there's lots of data out there about schools, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk about a couple of pieces of data that just will help just put some numbers to it. Now, this is data from the 24-25 school year. That's the current school year we're in. This data collection was done in October, and this is the National Center for Education Statistics. And so this is just an organization that does a lot of talking to educators, really learning what's going on, what's going wrong, what needs improvement. So let me just give you a couple of pieces of the data points. Okay. One, 31% of public schools reported losing teaching positions when compared to last school year. So they lost teaching positions. Okay. Another piece of data, 34% of public schools reported being understaffed in special education positions, a highly demanded area of education. 50% of public school leaders reported feeling their school is understaffed. 50% of principals, administrators are saying, my schools are understaffed. 35% of schools reported having one or more teaching vacancies. 41% of schools reported having one or more non teaching staff vacancies. And 31% of schools reported that staff vacancies created the need to use non teaching staff outside of their intended duties. Now, as a former administrator, let me tell you, one of the things that we saw on a regular basis was the morning shows up, you get there early, you get the phone calls from teachers who are not coming in that day, and you're in the business of trying to like cover classes. Either the teacher's already called in a sub, so there's a sub on the way, or they didn't get a chance because they got sick that morning, and now the office staff has to like fill in. It may mean me going to a class and filling in until a sub gets there. It may be finding a teacher who has a prep in the first period. And we did a lot of bartering with teachers, right? Because if I have prep first period, it means that I'm getting my class ready. I'm making copies. I'm grading papers. I'm making my room presentable. And if I have a first period prep and you ask me to give it up, like I'm giving up a lot because I need to be ready for the next 6 classes that are going to come in that day. And sometimes we would say, hey, teachers, can you cover this class? And it's kind of like a give and take. Like we all here to support, but the teacher's not required to give up their prep. That is built into their contract of what they need to get ready for their classes. And I think oftentimes those things are unaccounted for when teachers are in need of like the time to prep. Now, I was always known at my first year job teaching. Miss Jones always knew she could call me on my prep, and I would almost always, when I could, most times I would make space for her because Miss Jones in our main office was amazing. But it's not always the case. Sometimes, you have things to do and you're like, oh, you know what? I'm actually in the middle of a meeting right now and I can't take it. I'm so sorry, right? But this is just what happens in schools. And so all the dynamics of schools that are challenging, we sometimes as outsiders, when people who are outside of school would say, why are the teachers upset? Why are teachers not, they only have one thing to do? Like not understanding the role of education is, I think, why people don't value education. I think during the pandemic, we saw a lot of people and a lot of parents saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe teachers have to put up with this. But I think even quickly after, they're like back to, oh, they should just figure it out. They figure it out by themselves. The teaching profession is in need of educators who are not only taken care of, but are getting the support they need on a regular basis. The last thing I'll say about teaching in the profession and why teachers are leaving, I would say there is a lack of professional development for educators. The number of times that I remember professional development in the 10 years that I was a teacher, 3 years as an administrator, I can count on one hand the number of professional developments that I remember as a teacher. And probably 3 of them were because they were so bad. Corporate America understands that professional development is critical to your workforce being more prepared and better to be able to do their job. Sometimes it's not let me teach you how to do something. It is let us come together and do some team building, some community building. Let us have some fun, because I think oftentimes the job of teaching and professional is that, oh, the professional development has to be you learning how to do something. And sometimes it is seen as unacceptable for you to say, we're going to have a self care professional development today. There's going to be some meditation over there, some yoga over there, some massage over there. There's going to be some food over there. There's going to be a lot. There's going to be some cooking, healthy meals. Like, why are we not making the teaching profession, professional development, just as powerful as the professional development in other Fortune 500 companies? Now, if you look at schools' budgets, they are big budgets because they have hundreds of people working in a school that has to be taken care of, and the materials and lights and students and all the infrastructure that goes into running a school. But oftentimes, if you look at similar professional development of those individuals, it's like a second year teacher who has a lot of energy coming in, who's in charge of professional development, and the older teachers who have been there 5, 10, 15 years are in the back grading papers. Now, I not only have I seen it, um, I have witnessed it as a person who delivered PD as an administrator. And my goal was always that our PDs would be meaningful, valuable, and you walk away saying, I got something out of that. That maybe I can't use tomorrow, but maybe that I can use right now for my own self. Maybe it's not something that I need to do in my class. Maybe it's something that I need to do for myself and my own wellness. So many areas of how we need to improve our schools and education are coming down to being a place where teachers want to show up. Not they just show up because they get paid. That's the transaction between a job and the employer. But I'm talking about a place that you feel like you come alive. And I think that's what we need more in education. So today's confusion is to remind people and to engage people why teachers are leaving the profession. And there's lots of data out there that you can go and look up. And maybe if you're a parent, if you're an administrator, please make sure that you're supporting your teachers, asking them what they need, finding the things that are going to help bring more joy into the building. But for parents, I really want to encourage you to make sure you get to know your child's teachers. Yes, you're busy. Yes, they're busy. But that relationship is critical to the wellness of your student being able to like not only thrive as a student, but know that there's a teacher there who actually knows them more than just a name on a piece of paper. And hopefully they remember their name. Thanks for listening, folks. Welcome to Diary of a Confused Educator. Today's topic was why are teachers leaving the profession? There's 3 reasons that I talked about today. 1, the lack of staffing in schools, so teachers are feeling overwhelmed and overworked. 2, the lack of quality professional development in schools. And 3, our schools don't feel like places where you want to be. And that is going to be some work that needs to happen with quality professional development, supporting our teachers and educators and community. Take care, everybody. See you next time. Bye now.